Hello everyone, I hope that you are doing well. So without wasting any time, let's move to the newspaper. First we will identify the important news and then we'll move on to the analysis section. So hello everyone, this is Friday, May 20, 2022, the Hindu Daily edition. So as usual, we'll be first identifying the most important news followed by a detailed discussion. So without wasting any time, let's move further. So the first news is SC says center states have equal powers to make GST related law. Okay, so we'll be doing this. Sidhu gets 1 year rigorous imprisonment in road rage case, not required. Yasin Malik convicted for terror funding, not required. GYANVAPI case, not required. CUET posted, not required. Now this is one. Okay, we must congratulate NIKHAT ZAREEN for her tremendous performance in World Cup. Okay, World Championship. Right, she has won a gold for India. We are very proud of her. Delhi doorstep ration delivery plan cost, not required. Family budget goes away, not required. Okay, there is nothing else here. What is this? Head chopped. Achha. Domestic help thrust, her hair chopped. Okay. OBC no, not required, not required. Not required. Nothing else on those pages. Now on editorial, bridging the health policy to execution chasm. Okay. Chandrakant Lahariya. Okay, he is the person who always writes about getting a service, public health service, right? So I think it would be based on that only. Indian state needs to act quickly to setting up public health and management categories. So this is a opinion that he gives every time. More or less same opinion it has, right? He justifies it through relevant example every time. Fine. So we can read it very briefly. We'll give it a read very briefly. By the book, reservation should serve as a development purpose and not a weapon of divisiveness. Okay, we're doing this, and this is a very good line to be used for in way forward, right? Way forward of reservation answers, right? Let's see. Pocket of hope, linking nature and humanity. Yes, we'll be doing this. Crushing lives, strict enforcement of rules in quarries along can prevent. Okay, we'll be doing this. Can India reimagine South Asia? Not required. Leave it. And what is this? There is a lot in name. For reporter, the challenge lies in seeking success. Source willingness to it, not required. Understanding India's ethanol blending policy. Obviously, we have to see this. Child online safety toolkit, will give a read to the gist only. Okay, and this is not required. Okay, nothing is here. Okay, Panglong bridge construction. Okay, this will be doing. Okay, so BRICS and climate crisis. Just know this. BRICS is Jaishankar asked speak about Ukraine crisis also, right? So BRICS must do for climate crisis as well. Yes, this is true. Every big organization should look at it. Okay. Okay, and let's see if there's anything else. Okay, child right group opposes raising marriage age of women. Why? To improve access to education. So the access to education should be improved, and also the marriage age of women can be increased. They are not this thing exclusive to each other. They can have overlapping things, right? We'll see what are their viewpoints, then we'll reach a conclusion, right? So let's see. Where is Aurangzeb's tomb? I don't know, so I have to read this. Azam Khan gets interim bail under Article 142, complete justice. We'll give it a brief read, very brief read. Okay. Now let's see if anything else is remaining. Ready to discuss Turkey is concerned. Okay. I don't see anything else. Will not alter GST regime. We have to read this. Why? Cotton prices may derail apparel export, obviously. Okay, there is nothing else here. Now we are on the sports page, and we know that NIKHAT had added a gold to our to India's boxing history, right? So apart from that, okay, there is nothing else. There is these things about IPL and all those things. What is this? Swift and Surya 150-meter rifle prone silver. Okay, not okay. So with this we come to end of news identification, and let's directly go to news analysis, right? So the first news is SC says central states have equal power to make GST laws. The Supreme Court on Thursday in a judgment championed the importance of cooperative federalism, right? For well-being of democracy, held union and state legislature have equal, simultaneous and unique power. Okay, fine, to make laws on goods and service taxes, and recommendations of GST councils are not binding to them. You understand? So recommendations of GST council are not binding on the states because they have got equal, simultaneous and unique power. The apex court decision came while confirming a Gujarat High Court ruling that center cannot levy IGST on ocean freight from Indian importers. Okay, so IGST was levied by center on ocean freight from Indian importers. So that Gujarat High Court said that it cannot be done. The recommendations of GST councils are product of collaborative dialogue involving the union and the states. They are recommendatory in nature. Okay, so what it is recommendatory in nature. The recommendations only have persuasive value. To regard them as binding would disrupt the fiscal federalism when both the union and states are conferred equal power to legislate on GST. The bench led by Justice D.Y. Chandrachud held. The court emphasized that Article 246A, which gives the state power to make laws with respect to GST of the Constitution, treat the union and the states as equal units. It confers simultaneous power for enacting of laws on GST. Article 279A, consisting of GST Council, envisions that neither center nor states are actually dependent on each other. Okay, he said that center and state were autonomous, independent, and even competing units while making GST law. The federal system is a means to accommodate the need of a pluralistic society in a democratic manner. Democracy and federalism are interdependent. Federalism will only be stable in functioning democracy. The constituent unit of federal polity checks the exercise of powers of one another to prevent one group from exercising dominant power, it noted. Okay. So this is the thing. What you need to know, or what we need to know exactly, is this thing: equal, simultaneous and unique power. Okay, so when we write the challenges of GST or the features of GST, this is also a feature and this is also a challenge. Why a feature? Because it promotes cooperative federalism. And why challenge? Center may arm twist by other fiscal mechanism, right? So these things are there. Example, by use of borrowing condition limits. You understand now? Okay. And two articles are mentioned, 246A and 279. Okay, 279 is for GST Council and 246A is for states being equal unit. Now the Finance Ministry says won't impact GST regime. The Supreme Court verdict does not entail any change in any way to the functioning of GST regime. Okay, while Kerala Finance Minister hailed it for upholding cooperative federalism, his Tamil Nadu counterpart said ruling safeguards state right. Okay, so these things are there. Let's see anything else on the first page. And of course there isn't any news. So we know that we do editorial, text and context and op-ed page atlas. So we'll follow the pattern, and therefore I move forward to the next important news page, and that involves this news. Pangong Bridge construction is in occupied territory, says center. Okay, so center says what? That Pangong Bridge construction is in occupied territory. Fine. Current bridge is the main one. A smaller one was to support the construction. India closely monitoring the construction of a bridge by China on Pangong Tso Lake in eastern Ladakh, which is occupied territory. Okay, sources in the security establishment stated that broad bridge was currently under construction, connecting both sides of the lake, which would significantly cut down the time for people PLA to move troops and armored vehicle, while a smaller bridge built earlier was intended to support the construction of main one. Official source said that construction of the main bridge had just commenced, and the small bridge, of which the satellite image has come out in January, was not a permanent bridge but a Bailey bridge to support the construction of main one. The smaller bridge, for which construction started in October 2021 and went on till January, recommenced in March and was completed by April. It is a support bridge to support the construction of bigger, broader one. The height of the earlier one was so low that patrol boats can't pass under it. A source in the security establishment said, on condition of anonymity. This is a pattern that they follow in places as well, so it cannot be called a second bridge. Responding to a questions on this at a weekly press interaction, EA spokesperson Arindam Bagchi said, "We have seen media reports on new bridge or expansion of old one. This is a military issue, so I can't discuss implications. But India has always believed that area is occupied territory. We continue to monitor such developments. On the current status of construction, the source cited above said that construction material were dumped last month and work on the main bridge has just commenced. Latest satellite image shows piers, construction materials and cranes on the sites now, stating that it does not make any sense to have two bridges at the same location. The source noted that the main bridge was much higher and broader, that would allow PLA to move troops as well as armored vehicles As report earlier, the bridge connecting the north and south bank of Pangong would significantly bring down the time for PLA to move troops and equivalent equipment between the two sectors. Earlier, PLA has taken a roundabout crossing the Rudok County, but now the bridge would provide a direct access. So it wants to say that if this is Jammu and Kashmir, right, and here we have the Pangong Lake, okay, in the occupied territory. So a bridge is built such that it connects north to south. That's it. Okay, there was also one old bridge near to it, but this new bridge will do what? Is militarily sufficient. Okay, fine. So this is a bad news for India on tactical and security basis, but yes, China is doing it in its occupied area, right? So it is, we cannot do much about that. Child right groups oppose raising marriage age of women. Okay, let's see. It seems a kind of paradox. Okay, paradox. Why paradox? Because child right groups, okay, says that don't raise the marriage age of women. Fine, child right should not have said that. If other would have said, it wouldn't have been paradox. But raising a marriage age of women means the woman is considered more near to child before the marriage age. Okay, let's see. They have asked panel to improve access to education, right? Okay, but this does not make the two things mutually exclusive. We can have both access to education and marriage age, raised marriage age at the same time. Because if there is higher access to, improve access to education, especially higher education, then automatically what will happen? The marriage age will shoot up. Why? Because by age of 22, 23, look, 16 year 10th, 18 year you have your plus 2, 3 years to 3 years graduation, or 4 year technical degree, 3 to 4 years. So by 22 years you are just graduate, right? So in this way you have to see. So automatically from 18 year it becomes 22, 21, 22 years. An umbrella body of child right organization set up by Kailash Satyarthi, which appeared before the parliamentary panel studying the bill on raising age of marriage to 21 years from 18 years, has opposed the move and emphasized for need of education to delay marriage. Okay, the Indian Child Protection Forum, okay, that comprises of 70 civil society organization represented by its convener Amod K. Kant and Ravi Kant from the Kailash Satyarthi Children Foundation, made its submission before the Parliamentary Standing Committee headed by BJP MP Vinay Sahasrabudhe on Monday. The panel is expected to submit a report next month. Last year, Parliament has sent Prevention of Child Marriage Bill 2021 to Standing Committee after opposition party expressed concern over raising the age of marriage for women and demand for greater security of the proposed. Crime data. The ICPF told the panel that Prohibition of Child Marriage Act 2005 has failed to stop child marriage, which was evident through the national NCRV data, which shows that only 25-30 cases were registered between 16 and 20. He sought the government invest in improving education, access to education to check school dropout, and demanded that girls be provided free education till the age of 18. Okay. It also underlined the raising the age of marriage for women to 21 will result in criminalizing young adults entering into wedlock, especially those who marry against the consent of their parents. At least 5 women organizations have also sent a joint memorandum to the panel seeking the age of marriage for both men and women should be fixed at 18. Look, concerns of the forum is very well placed. It makes sense that yes, this is possible. And what are the concerns? The first concern is, what is the first concern? Child right laws is necessary but not sufficient. Okay. Hence, complemented your compliments from increasing educational avenues welcomed. Okay. And second is that in case of special marriages, increasing age would lead to defeat of personal choice of adults. Okay. The next news is ASI bars visit to Aurangzeb tomb tomb shut down for 5 days. Okay, after MNS spokesperson called for its destruction. Oh my god. Okay, it is in Aurangabad, I think. To destroy Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb tomb in Maharashtra's Aurangabad district. Yes, I was correct. That's what I wanted to know. Okay, and therefore it has been shut for 5 days. Earlier given a tweet question, need for existence of the tomb in Khuldabad in Chhatrapati Shivaji's Maharashtra, calling it to be destroyed. Okay, and anything else? Okay, look, there are 2-3 aspects to this. First aspect is Shivaji's Maharashtra and Aurangzeb tomb issue. What could be the perspective? One perspective is that yes, how come in Maharashtra the bitterest enemy of Shivaji, that is Aurangzeb's tomb, can be there. Okay, and second thing is what? The second perspective is that how in Aurangzeb's India one can say that it is Shivaji's Maharashtra. Both the proponent of both the perspective consider their perspective as the best and others and reject others. But the thing is, we have to understand Shivaji was Maharaj and Aurangzeb was he was also Maharaj, Shahenshah. Okay, not Shahenshah exactly. I am not getting that term. Okay, consider him. He was the king of India, and Shivaji was also Maharaj. So it is the war between kings, and not war between religions. Okay, we have to understand this. Yes, Shivaji is God, especially for Maratha community. Yes, Aurangzeb is also considered Jinda Pir because of his strict lifestyle based on prescriptions of Islam. So both were good in their own dimensions, right? So this thing must be seen as a war between king, and it is India's what we say, it is India's good fate, right? India's good fate that the bitterest enemy of Shivaji, okay, has his tomb in his own house, means in Maharashtra. This means that although they were the bitterest enemy of one another, still they share the same common ground, okay, after death. This has to be understood. Means the bitterness should end with death of a person, and this is what CRPC also says, or the IPC says, that if a person is dead, no criminal proceedings can be instituted against him or her, right? So we must take it more as a unity in diversity, or an example of secularism, although we may not exactly say that it is example of secularism, but we must understand that this war was not between two religions, especially it was mostly between two kings who used religion as per their requirement, right? Or it was to curb Aurangzeb's religious policies. Shivaji evolved his own religious policy. So we have to understand it in a bigger perspective, not that just how can one get a tomb in Maharashtra. It's a tomb. After death we all are same. Okay, we all are same thing, and what is that thing? We all become earth. Okay, let's see if anything else is left. On that page I didn't see. Azam Khan gets bail under 142. Okay, that thing is, it is only that thing. For complete justice they have done that. SC verdict will not alter GST regime, says Finance Ministry. Let's see what Finance Ministry has to say. Kerala Tamil Nadu Finance Minister held apex court ruling for safeguarding state right and stressing cooperative federalism. The Supreme Court verdict does not entail any change in the way the functioning of GST regime and its institutional mechanism for its operation, the Finance Ministry asserted on Thursday, even as some state welcomed the decision. Okay, terming the GST Council finest example of collaborative and cooperative federalism, the Finance Ministry said that apex court has only elaborated on the functional mechanism in its observation. The judgment does not in any way lay down anything new insofar as GST institution mechanism is concerned, does not have any bearing on the way GST has been functioning, nor it lays down anything fundamentally different from the existing framework of GST. The Council was collaborative institutional mechanism. The centre and the state follows its recommendation that arrived at with consensus, the Ministry said, stressing that there has been only a solitary instance where decision required voting. Okay, even in this case, the dissenting state implemented the decision of GST Council. The Ministry said in a statement, adding that it would review a 153 page judgment in detail. Okay, now persuasive for primacy. Stressing the apex court had only elaborated upon the constitutional scheme of GST, is said that the court has observed that council recommendation has persuasive value for primary legislation, but its recommendations were binding for subordinate legislation such as issue of notification, framing of rules, prescribing rates and taxes. Okay, and apart from that, arbitrary imposing. Even since GST regime came into being, the center has been arbitrarily imposing its decision on the state, affecting its revenue and forcing them to impose treasury restriction. Okay. The council was only a recommendatory body and cannot supersede states' right and power for enacting the laws with regards to GST. Now this is only important. So know this, if a question comes from this part, then one of the statement will be considered the following statement type of question will come, and one of the statement will be GST council decision is binding, okay, in prelims, and this would be wrong. So this is the catch here. Not in this prelim, most probably in next prelims, because very less time is left, so I don't expect in this prelims. But yes, in next prelim it is going to come. In other words, what is that it can come? GST council decision becomes binding as it is taken by consensus. Okay, so both the statement becomes wrong. Why? Because it is non-binding. Fine, you got it? Okay, let's see if anything else is remaining on this page. I don't see any more news on this page. Yes, so with this we have come to end of identification of most important news and then analysis of those news. Now let us go directly to editorial page and proceed further. Okay, so this is the thing. Bridging health policy to execution chasm. India state needs to act quickly, setting up a public health and management cadre. Okay, like we have an Indian administrative service cadre, we have an Indian police service cadre, right? Similarly, we need public health and management cadre, PHM cadre. Okay, the author wants to say, he always writes on the same line. Okay, so it is very predictable what he wants to say. Okay, role and relevance would be the voice of having public health services and workforce in India has always been few and feeble. Okay, let's see what are the roles and okay, he has given all the things, but okay, looking for professional trained in public health who had field experience. There was, okay, so this is one thing that is needed, and other thing, okay, then response, pandemic response is a keyword here. Professional at policy and decision making levels, these are the keywords. Okay, a continuing role of care, improving, implement, give it a read. I don't think anything important in there. Just know this idea, this is the opinion or idea, it can be written in way forward, right? While pandemic management, questions of pandemic management, health infra, okay, infra, etc, etc, you give it a read if you feel like, but I don't think it is very important, right? Reservation should serve a development purpose and not a weapon of divisiveness. Supreme Court has allowed Madhya Pradesh to implement reservations. The court on May 10 and all those things are there. It has written that what are the things what had happened, right? Okay, triple test. Now the court has since then reassured itself that a state has to meet the triple test criteria established in 2010 for OBC representation in local bodies. A commission that undertook contemporary empirical judiciary into the nature and implication of backwardness of body, breakup of reservation local body wise, and adherence to 50% ceiling quota. So these are the three things. Okay, a commission that undertook contemporaneous empirical inquiry into nature and implications of backwardness in context of local body, breakup of reservation of local body, and 50% ceiling. So this is the triple test in local body. Okay, so there should be a commission that has taken such study to contemplate what is the actual position of backwardness and what are the implications of that backwardness. This is the first test out of the triple test. The second test is what is the present breakup and what is the expected breakup of reservation for local body wise, and third thing is the 50% ceiling on quota. Okay, Madhya Pradesh, Orissa also facing judicial scrutiny and all those things are there. Let's read it from here. Making the reservation regime fair, objective and empirical is a major governance challenge, and court attempt in that direction is welcome. Political party and government must act in tandem with judiciary so that reservation program do not turn into decisive but serve a development purpose as it was envisaged, right? Crushing, right? So this is it. You just know about this triple test. This could be a potential point in answers defending reservation if it comes. Okay, so point where you are writing in defense of reservation, then this test comes that if the point is that arbitrary reservation cannot be curbed in India, discussed, then one of the point can be that yes, arbitrary resistance is curbed in India by the use of triple test, right? and the way forward should be this thing. Okay. Crushing life. Strict enforcement of rule in quarries alone can prevent environmental and human cost. Okay. Quarries where explosive machineries are deployed is fraught with risk. 3 workers at primary Venkat. Okay. We are tragic. Okay. So this is more of a story like thing. Okay, nothing more. No, this thing. This is simple thing. They want to say that strict enforcement of rules in quarries and any place where human, machine and nature are at work together. Okay, in any place that is geographically challenging. Okay, in those places there must be a standard operating procedure SOP that should be followed to prevent what, both environment and human cost, because once an accident happen, there is both thing involved, human cost as well as the environment cost. Okay, give it a read if you want. It won't contain any point. Reading newspaper for long gives us the understanding of what the article may have, and trust me, if you trust your instinct on these things now, you will understand what to write in examination. If you go on just reading things, you will find it very difficult to assimilate things in the examination. Just get the gist of the things, make a 1 point, not more than 1 point, because doing this for 365 days will give you about 2 to 3 points, very unique points per topic. Okay, because every day we have almost 8 articles, right? 4 on the editorial page, 2 on the op-ed page, and at least 2 to 3 on the text and context page. So we have 8 to 9 articles every day, and getting 2 points each every day, we are getting about 20 points, right? And that too for 350 days we got about 7,000 points. Do we have the space to write 7,000 points? If a point contain at least about maybe how much words? About 20 words. So we have about 1,40,000 words we have to write. Is it possible to write even that much? No, it is not possible to write in the examination. So understand the gist. At most you can write a point from an article. This is the main learning what you should learn, because everything is directed towards clearing this examination. The entire pool of knowledge should be directed towards what? Clearing the examination, and not for the sake of learning that, oh, I know everything but I cannot write an exam. That is irrelevant. You learn, you write in the examination, then you learn more. What is the problem? Pocket of hope, linking nature and humanity. Okay, it is important to increase the number of biosphere reserves in South Asia to ward off the doomsday ecological scenario. Okay, biodiversity is the living fabric of our planet. It underpins human. Who is this person? Let me see first. Director of UNESCO, New Delhi office. Okay. Fine. So we must read this. And its rapid decline threatens nature and people alike. According to Global Assessment Report on Biodiversity and Ecosystem Services released in 2019 by IPBES at UNESCO headquarters in Paris. So headquarters of UNESCO is where? In Paris. The main global biodiversity losses are climate change. So climate change, invasive species, over exploitation of natural resources, pollution and urbanization. So you got 5 points here. So whenever we are writing about answers related to biodiversity, so we can actually break the answer on these 5 points. Okay. These 5 points would be 5 points to break down the answers. You understand how to write the answer. The earth is under strain because of our collective excesses. The ecological carrying capacity of planet earth has largely been exceeded. This trend tends to be redressed with cleaner air, high quality drinking water and enough food and healthy habitat to ensure ecosystem services without the benefit of humanity, without critically affecting nature's balance. Whether we look at nature from environmental, from a cultural, even from a religious point of view, it is our responsibility and clearly in our interest to respect the environment. In fact, the possibility exists that all is not lost. In last 50 years or so, much has been accomplished for protection of nature, including establishment of conservation areas, and a number of international conventions have been signed and ratified. Biosphere reserves are key. One of the best mechanisms that has been created by World Network of Biosphere Reserves, created in 1971 by UNESCO. Biosphere reserves are placed where human life lives in harmony with nature and where there is effective combination of sustainable development and nature conservation. They represent pocket of hope and prove that we are not inexorably headed towards doomsday ecological scenario, provided we take up appropriate action. In South Asia, over 30 biosphere reserves has been established. The first one was, Hululu Biosphere Reserve in Sri Lanka, which was designed in 1977 and comprised of 25,500 hectares within the tropical dry evergreen forest. In India, the first biosphere reserve was designed in 2000 within the Blue Mountains of Nilgiris. Okay, once in geography optional, we have seen that Blue Mountains have come in the map marking. Fine. It stretches across the states of Tamil Nadu, Karnataka. What Blue Mountains of Nilgiri? It is Blue Mountains of Nilgiri. There is also a Blue Mountain in your Tripura, in your northeast section, right? Kerala. Okay. The network has gone from strength to strength, and it now counts 12 sites, with Panna in the state of Madhya Pradesh as the latest in 2020. Okay, we need more biosphere reserves and pockets of hope. The region offers countless options. Diverse system. South Asia has a very diverse set of ecosystem. To begin with, Bhutan, India, Nepal combined to have thousands of glaciers surrounded by lakes and alpine ecosystem. The Kanchanjanga Biosphere Reserve, established in 2018, is a good model. It includes some of the highest ecosystem in the world, with elevation up to 8,586 meters. The reserve is home to orchid and rare plant species. At the same time, more than 35,000 people live in there. The main economic activity are crop production, animal husbandry, fishing, dairy products, and poultry farming. Bangladesh, India, and Maldives, Sri Lanka have extensive coastline with coral reefs and mangrove forests. These areas are exposed to extreme weather events, okay, like storm, drought, flood, and sea level rises. Maldives are recognized as the lowest lying country in the world, with mere elevation of 1.5 meter and above the high tide water mark. Together with UNESCO, Archipelago has embarked on a plan to establish pilot site for conservation, restoration of coastal ecosystem, and enhance the population knowledge on climate change and adaptation. Separately, 3 biosphere reserves have already been created in Maldives. Okay, run on science-based plan. UNESCO. So what it is saying? So you understand now. So Earth is under strain. Yes, Earth is under strain, but there are also few possibilities. Biosphere reserves are the key to reduce these strains, right? And what has happened? Entire of South Asia is a very diverse ecosystem, and diverse system includes man plus biosphere. Okay, and based on this, we have in India as well as in Sri Lanka, in Maldives, everywhere we have, and in Maldives we have already 3 biosphere reserves. Run on science-based plan. The UNESCO biosphere reserves have all developed science-based management plans. Okay, so the management plans of these biosphere reserves are highly scientific, where local solutions for sustainable human living and nature conservation are being tested and best practices applied. Issue concerns include biodiversity, clean energy. Look, what are the issues concerned? This is what you have to filter out. Biodiversity, clean energy, climate, environmental education, and water and waste management, supported by scientific research and monitoring. So whenever you are writing, say, a question where you have to propose solutions to conservation of environment, so on what grounds you will write the solution? You cannot go and write anything that will conserve the environment by creating dams, small check dams. No, it feels irrelevant to write like this. Okay, so you have to write about what are the concerns. Now biodiversity concerns can be taken down by educating people. Okay, clean energies can be obtained from setting up non-renewable energy sources in the forest itself. Okay, now climate, as far as climate is concerned, forest is equivalent to climate. Increase CCUS, okay, carbon storage techniques will be developed, and that could be implemented in forest, so that and forest itself is a good carbon sequestrator, so we can write from that angle. And what we have, environment education, as I have already told in the first point, and water and waste management. Waste and water management comes together, and apart from that you write sanitation also, water, sanitation, and waste management, right? And you write on these 3 points, get a scheme there, Vandhan Yojana you can get there, right? Waste to wealth you can get there, supported by scientific research and monitoring. So you see, with these points we already generated 5-7 points for the answer. That is enough. You don't have scope to write more than this. The aim is to detect changes and find solutions to increase climate resilience. Okay, all biosphere reserves are internationally recognized site on land, at coast, or in ocean. Government alone decide which areas to nominate. Before approval by UNESCO, the sites are externally examined. If approved, they will be managed based on the agreed plan, reinforced by the routine checks and ensure credibility, but all depends on the sovereignty of their national government. Obviously, some countries in South Asia do not yet have any or enough biosphere reserve. In most, if not all cases, the political will is certainly there, but there is lack of know-how and financial resources. So this is one of the challenges. Okay, lack of technical expertise as well as finances. Of course, more financial support from richer nations and from private sector would be desirable for establishing biosphere reserves in these countries. The priority country, BB and Bangladesh, Bhutan, and Nepal are on priority list of UNESCO because they do not have any biosphere reserve. Their government are already working on their first nomination files. Our organization also believes it would be important to increase the number of biosphere reserves in India, Maldives, and Sri Lanka. The point is that if the pocket of hope can expand with at least 1 biosphere reserve per country, with more larger site covering terrestrial surface, including coastal area with their offshore island, it will give realization to millions of people that a better future is truly possible, one where we can live in true harmony with nature. This is the accommodationist viewpoint, right? On May 22, on the occasion of International Day for Biological Diversity, let us do what is right. Now is the time to act for biodiversity. It is a very relevant article, not because May 22 is coming, no, because we have got many points in this article that could enrich our answer very much. So this is your first point, first place where you get the point. This is the second place where you get the point. This is the third place where you get the point, right? So 3 places, 3 pockets are there where we get some points, right? So this is a very important article with respect to our examination questions. Because question can be placed from this kind of article. Just remember this. Okay, make a note of it. You will not feel disgusted or disappointed, right? Now let's see text and context pages. Understanding India's ethanol blending policy. We know that India has targeted to blend 20% ethanol by 2025, I think. Yes, now by 2025. Okay. Union Cabinet on Wednesday approved amendment to National Policy on Biofuel. Okay, and it has preponed the date for 20% blending by 2025. Niti Aayog committee lays out comprehensive picture for ethanol blending. Car makers have said that with modification in engine, the loss in efficiency due to blended fuel can be reduced. To compensate the consumer for a drop of efficiency from ethanol blended fuels, tax incentive on E20 fuel may be considered. Yes. So if you say for 1 liter, the mileage for petrol is say 40 kilometers per liter, right? So it may reduce to say 32 kilometers per liter. Okay. So but the cost is what? It is 100 rupees, say rupees per liter, and its cost may be say 80 rupees per liter. Okay, after reduction of taxes and all those things. So what happens? It total, what we get, 4,000 kilometer rupees per liter square, and here what we get, see, it's a 266 kilometer rupees per liter square. So this is better in that case. Okay, you understand now? Efficiency becomes better if, although it takes more fuel for same mileage, but the cost multiplication by cost gives us a better realistic idea. So let's see. First we'll see what are the environmental costs, which is more important, because ethanol burns more completely than petrol. It avoids emissions such as carbon monoxide. It avoids. Okay. Tests conducted in India have shown that there is no reduction in nitrous oxide. So no reduction in nitrous oxide, one of the major environment pollution. A report by IEEFA says that for India to meet a target for 20% ethanol blending by 2025, it will need to bring 30,000 additional square kilometer of land under maize cultivation. Half of that can be used for more effective production of clean energy from solar, as they counted. For India, sugarcane is the cheapest source of ethanol. On average, a ton of sugarcane produces 100 kg of sugar and 70 liters of ethanol, but it would mean 16,000 to 2,000 liters of water to produce 1 kg of sugarcane, implying a liter of ethanol from sugar requires, which is highly water consuming thing, right? Okay. Okay, then now you give it a read. I don't think anything else will be there. I'm just looking for how it is made, because that is often written. While vehicles can run on ethanol, they do not need to be turned accordingly. So, on the other hand, the gains are potentially significant. Ethanol can be sourced from sugarcane, molasses, maize, which gives Indian agriculture base that can sustainably reduce India's dependence on petroleum. Yes, this was I was searching. So it can be created from, it can be manufactured from sugarcane, molasses, maize. Algae is also being used nowadays, right? Give it a read. I don't think anything else would be there. Child online safety toolkit is scripted and put together by Britain-based NGO. Okay, to ensure that children rights and need are prioritized in digital world. Okay, within 24 hours of social media profile being created, children will be being targeted with graphic content. Yes, they are. Toolkit contains 5 things every policymaker needs to know to ensure child online safety into law and practice. 10 policy actions areas where detailed roadmaps are key. Okay, these things are there. Now, how to use it? The more important thing is, you read it, you will understand what it is. It is very easy. It is an online toolkit for child safety, right? But how to use it in India? Why? Means why the security needed? Why? Because increased explicitness of content, and this is leading to why? What? It is leading to ill-developed mentality of children, right? Therefore, we need this. So use this as a case study or example while writing questions related to child online abuse. Okay, let's see if anything else is remaining. Okay, fine. So with this we come to end of today's newspaper. I hope you like it. Your homework is same. Comment which article examples you learnt today and in what capacity. Okay, so this is your homework. Comment it down. You know I read each and every comment and comment accordingly. So with this I take your leave today and I am ending today's session. Okay. So friends, I really hope that you like this video. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe our channel and share this video with your friend. Follow us on Telegram as well. Also keep studying hard, keep following your dreams and keep tuned to our channel. Comment below for any suggestion. Till then, goodbye, good luck, keep studying hard.